Creating a home is a bit like a piece of music coming to life. The main builder is the conductor. The carpenters are the percussion, setting the rhythm with hammer and nail. The electricians are the strings, weaving current through the walls like melodies. The block layers, bold as brass, bringing volume and power. But no matter how talented your construction orchestra is, the key part belongs to the composer. The composer, musical or architectural, has the power to set style and narrative, invite admiration. But just like architecture, music is subjective. This composition might not be to everybody's tastes, but perhaps you might just find it magical.
Martinborough in the South Wairarapa, an hour's drive north of Wellington, is a small town with a big reputation. Famous for fine wine, boutique village vibes, and sartorial elegance.
Hey, what do you think about my shirt?
I think it's really cool. I think I chose that one, didn't I?
Probably.
Tim and Sally Roach have lived throughout the Wellington region since arriving from the UK in the early 2000s, but have now settled for good in Martinborough.
I think it's the old buildings. I think it's just the character of the place. It's amazing.
It is, it's lovely.
The couple met at church in West Sussex in the south of England, but romance took its time, with Tim taking things at a very slow pace.
We were just friends, really. And then what clinched it was the cricket trousers.
Oh,
so
goodness.
when a young
no,
man
no.
asks you to go and help him choose cricket trousers, I mean, that's a sign, isn't it? You know? And I said, look, you know, what do you think? Do you want to, you know, should we go out on a date or whatever? And he was like, no, I don't think so. And I was like, OK, I obviously read the cricket trousers all wrong.
Sally's timing was only slightly off, though, and she and Tim went on to get married, have 2 sons, and forge successful IT careers. They also shared a passion for real estate. And now Martinborough's home, they're planning their ultimate property adventure.
I never dreamt that we'd live in such a beautiful place.
Combining their love of wine with a house amongst the vines that they can share with family and friends.
I cannot believe that we are about to plant a vineyard. And here we are, we're going to be growing our own Chardonnay, which is just, yeah, just crazy, really.
Sure, there's a little knowledge gap.
We don't know a lot about viticulture, but we are learning.
And with a blend of confidence and conviviality, they're expecting vintage times ahead.
We're now in a position where we're able to build a home that will reflect who we are, something that we can really, really enjoy.
Cheers.
Tim and Sally's dream will need an exceptional block of land. And it looks like they've found it.
This scene is almost perfect, isn't it?
It is, yes.
And you're going to improve on it?
I hope so, and we're going to certainly enjoy it anyway.
Yeah. So what is the plan? What are you going to do here?
We are building, hopefully, a beautiful house over there, taking in full advantage of all the views. We're going to put a barn here and some visitor accommodation over here to make the most of the site.
Well, that sounds like more than one project. I mean, what is this? This is a whole complex of projects.
It is a little bit.
It is a whole complex. Actually, what Sally's also not mentioned is that we're going to plant out the region with vines as well. So
True.
We love the idea of living amongst the vines.
Tim and Sally have plenty of plans for their big empty site, but let's consider the house itself. The garage adjoins a long entranceway leading down to the oversized front door. A patio and deck are positioned here for afternoon sun, while the low, charred timber ceiling runs from outside in and opens right up into the vaulted living area. Relax in the retro-style sunken lounge around an open fire with a chimney breast clad in Oamaru stone, a material that's also used for wall linings. Multiple windows frame the views, also enjoyed from the dining table and the kitchen, featuring walnut joinery and a separate scullery. There's a guest bedroom with a deck, a floating timber staircase, laundry, bathroom, another bedroom, and the master bedroom with ensuite. Sheltered in the middle is a large courtyard with a louvered roof, an artificial turf lawn, spa and swimming pool. Upstairs, there's a bedroom cum office, plus a second lounge with adjoining deck. The exterior, of Japanese-style charred timber and pristine white Oamaru stone, completes a finely crafted, full-bodied home alongside its own vineyard, worth raising a glass to.
This project isn't discrete, it's many things, so it feels like you're at the beginning of a really long story here.
The biggest challenge will be budget.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we have a changing scene, increasing construction costs. It's difficult to know where things are going to finish.
So what are the figures at this stage? How much did you pay for the land?
So the land was $500,000. The house, it started 2 years ago at under 2 million.
Yeah.
We think about 2.5 now.
Right, 300 square metre house, 2.5 million. Yeah, okay, all right. A bespoke architectural house, the figures are high for those things. But there's other things. There's a barn,
So the barn and the visitor accommodation and the vineyard, they come separately. There will be an element of business finance, I think, will have to come into that. And we'll
Right.
have to be creative in the way in which we approach that.
And then you can sit back and
Yes.
relax.
That's the
Indeed.
plan.
Okay, sometime in 2035.
Well, we'd say Christmas, wouldn't we? But Christmas next year.
Christmas 24. Every now and again, you come across a situation where, if you think about it quietly, it's mind-boggling. I thought I was going to come here and muse about the complexities of building a house. Whereas actually, this is a multi-plot extravaganza. What Tim and Sally are about to embark upon is a complex few years. And I think what will be critical will be their ability to focus on what's important and prioritize amongst the myriad of decisions and demands that this will surely place upon them. If they get that right, this life will be magnificent.
In the face of such an all-encompassing ambition, it may seem churlish to inject a note of caution. However, things are rarely so black and white.
One thing that strikes me, and will no doubt strike you, is this high contrast pairing of exterior materials. Moody, dark, black charred timber and super bright white Oamaru stone. Quite a combination. Maybe that's the idea, to be striking, to have high visual impact. And that's what we also see here at the Art Centre in Christchurch. The architecture of these buildings may be from a very different era, but they've got that same high impact, high contrast aesthetic. In this case, there's a finely composed combination of grey volcanic basalt and the same Oamaru stone that Tim and Sally are using. In fact, it's from the very same quarry. And that creates this really distinctive combination, a really memorable rendition of Gothic Revival architecture. Now, the approach in Wairarapa will be a modern house using a material typically associated with heritage grand buildings. How will that translate, I wonder? Or take away the arches and ornamentation, and you're left with flush-cut stone highlighting the proportions of the building. And so that balance between white and black is going to have to be flawless. There's nowhere to hide. And even though this house may appear to be simple and understated, the ambition is anything but.
By September, 7 months since my first visit, the barn is up on Tim and Sally's property and work has begun on the foundations of the house.
Is it exciting? Is it exciting? What's happening? What are they doing to your garden?
During construction, the couple was intending to stay living in their Martinborough house. But those plans have changed. They're moving into the barn.
So this is going to be our home for the next 15 months.
I know.
Here's a bedroom.
Temporary bedroom.
Temporary bedroom.
A sharp increase in the cost of the new build means the house in town now has to be sold.
We first saw this land just over 2.5 years ago, and since then, prices have skyrocketed. I'm going to estimate and say that probably our total build cost will be in excess of $1 million more than what we were planning, and that's just at this stage.
7 months ago, Tim told me that he thought the house would cost $2.5 million. Now, the estimate is $3 million plus, a revelation that's prompting some reflection.
I think if we'd done things differently, then I would have been talking to the architect about designing something that was simpler.
But despite the big hit, the couple aren't planning any major changes to the build. They're experienced in property, they have options, and they remain confident.
It's going to be worth it in the end, so I'll just have to work till I'm 70 or something.
Frankly, though, this doesn't sound like the retirement Tim and Sally were planning. With the main house only just begun, I'm wondering will they ever get to relax there, let alone toast it with a glass of their own wine. By the end of 2023 at Tim and Sally Roach's property in Martinborough, a raft of steel portal frames are up, along with timber trusses and wall framing. And it's becoming very clear just how big their new house is.
Just looking forward to sitting on that deck there, having a wine, watching the sunset go down.
A glass of our own wine.
Oh, yes.
Tim and Sally are planning a lot on their land. Not just the main house, but its spiralling cost means they have to set very clear priorities.
Tim has definitely been more grumpy than usual.
Anything that we spend now on the barn, on the glamping area, on the vines, is going to have a direct impact on what we do on the main house. So we're just trying to keep costs under control is a big one, and that's one of the hardest things for the project management.
One of the big budget items is the Oamaru stone sourced here at Parkside Quarry, well over 700 kilometres from Martinborough, but clearly worth the transportation cost to Tim and Sally.
That is a cliff and a half, isn't it? Is this active?
This was like the original quarry, so from when it first started here, like 100 odd years ago. Those marks and stuff are just from the older techniques of how it used to be quarried, drilled and blasted, and just big chunks got blown off.
Very soft looking, right? All of this, even the ground here is covered in dust from the stone.
It's definitely softer when it comes out of the ground because it's full of water.
Yeah, look, see, I can just do that.
But it'll harden up as it dries out, and then it will just, get a bit tougher.
Parkside Quarry produces standard-sized blocks, but also cuts the stone to clients' bespoke requirements. Typically, variation means complication here and on the build. And Tim and Sally's stone design is surprisingly complex.
They want a different pattern and they want a different thickness, and so they're also, with their internal stone, will be another thickness of stone as well, and the lengths will be randomised.
So that sounds like that would be expensive.
Yeah.
Oamaru stone may well provide the quality and elegance Tim and Sally desire, but the process will demand time, precision, and patience from both the stonemasons and the owners. In a project already stretched tight, using the stone is not just a leap of faith, it's a leap into the unknown. Into the new year, and about 10 months since I first met Tim and Sally on their beautiful block of land.
Well, now I like this. Long span glulam beams, big grunty steels. Very different from the tightly framed, smaller rooms. And I think this has the makings of a baronial hall. Very good. Although one with a sunken lounge, which is different. I mean, that's a sort of modernist 60s, 70s idea. Very cool, though.
An intricate design like this has its challenges coming together, but I understand the builders here are testing out new technology that could well be a game changer.
The pre-nailers have done a 3D planning software that has allowed us to get a real good understanding of how everything goes together. So this app will give us where everything is, where the lintels sit, where the rafters sit, and that has really sped up how fast we managed to put it together.
This is your whole building.
Yeah, in 3D.
Mapped out, all the framing.
All the frames together.
I can look at that connection over there before I've built it.
So rather than me going through screeds and screeds of two-dimensional cross-sections, I can just look at this in 3D and go, that goes there. It's a lot easier. So this is how we should be building.
The builders have also largely finished the barn, so Tim and Sally have moved in and now have a grandstand view of their new house being built across the paddock. And with builder Mal using encouraging words like speed and efficiency, you'd think they'd be happy. But not entirely.
The quicker they go, the quicker I have to pay the bills.
Right.
And we will need to release some finance with the sale of some property. The market's a little bit slow at the moment, so we're trying to balance the sale of property with the speed at which some of those big builders are coming through.
Sure.
So that's going to be, I think, the biggest challenge that we face this year. And I think if we don't sell property, that's where the pressure point will come.
Okay. Is that a stress? Is that a big stress?
Ask that question in a few months' time, and we'll see.
You'll be in the thick of it. Yeah. And actually, there's a big transformation to come, isn't it? When the building changes from this lightweight thing to a stone-clad building.
It's exciting, but, you know, could go horribly wrong as well, I suppose.
As far as building sites go, it looks pretty harmonious, doesn't it? Soft brown framing in a soft brown landscape. But we're also a cusp, aren't we? The cusp of a transformation. The building gets its skin, the lightest of stone and the darkest of timber, coming together. Now, will it be good? It will certainly make a statement.
Late winter in Martinborough, and all quiet at the region's famous vineyards. All the pruning's been done, and the vines are resting ahead of the new growing season. At Tim and Sally Roach's property, they were hoping to have their own grapes in the ground by now. But that's been delayed by the new build. The roof is on, though, and the exterior cladding is next.
Would you be OK to drag a goal? Would that be OK?
Tim can't do much, except try to figure out how to pay for it all, and take some time out when he can.
Just over on the far side. Thank you.
He's the coach of Martinborough Football Club's women's team, competing in the local Wairarapa League.
So the women's team is a new team for Martinborough. They'd never had a women's team, and 2/3 of the team had never kicked a football before. Ready to go again? They won their first game a couple of weeks ago, and the celebration afterwards was amazing. So it really has been a fantastic distraction for me.
But to keep the new build going amid skyrocketing construction costs, Tim and Sally are trying to sell their house in town and other rental properties. Not easy.
Well done, guys. That's fantastic. Well done. The market is very quiet, and I've never known a period like this in Martinborough, so we do face a real prospect of asking the builders to down tools, and we really don't want to do that, so that's the biggest pressure at the moment.
One thing the couple has paid for already is the burnt timber for the exterior cladding and internal linings. It comes from a Waikato company specializing in the Japanese preservation technique of yakisugi.
This is the production line. Now, without giving away your trade secrets, what happens here?
It's basically an open grill. We use infrared burners. So the infrared burners gives us a much more precise direction of heat, but also a high intensity. So it means that we can char up to around 3,000 metres per day on the timber we're doing for this project.
So you take this great product and then you set it on fire.
Yeah, that's right. When we're charring it, what it's doing is burning off carbohydrates in the cell structure of the timber. It's also causing a slight hardening effect to the surface of the timber. And those carbohydrates are food sources for bugs and fungi, so that's making it less advantageous for them to settle on the timber over time. And when the Japanese started doing this 500 years ago, that was the concept, is that the charring would protect the timber, but also it protects it from UV as well, because your charcoal is essentially like 100% UV-proof sunscreen, if you like. So you're not having to re-oil stain that timber to hold colour every 2 years, like you are with other premium timber weatherboards.
Traditionally, yakisugi used Japanese cypress, a softwood revered for its durability and weather resistance. But the technique transforms much humbler wood as well.
So that starts out as standard pine.
Yes, yeah.
And you end up with something entirely different. I mean, the association with this kind of pine is, unfortunately, leaky homes.
Right.
Opening up walls and finding softwood rotting away. And now you're turning it into an exterior grade piece of cladding.
Yes. Yeah.
That you don't need to maintain. I find that remarkable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's science, isn't it, really?
Yeah,
the characteristics of that material have changed so much.
With money so tight now, Tim and Sally are no doubt relieved that they made an early decision to handle the interior design themselves.
We couldn't afford to employ an interior designer. We thought about it early on and then kind of never really got round to it, and then it wasn't an option financially.
As well as the furniture and materials, the couple have to come up with the interior colour scheme. And for that, they're taking inspiration from the site itself.
Let's say that we take the floorboards and we start to compare that with some of the background.
Yeah, what's in nature out the window.
There's some browns that are coming in, potentially some green. And what do you think about blue?
I'm not sure, really. I mean, you know, obviously the sky is blue, but I think I'm definitely trying to do warmer tones inside.
However, they're not just limiting themselves to what they can see outside. Their range is truly international.
You had this idea about some funky furniture, something with a bit of a Moroccan theme.
I do like the colours in this, the green and the red and the gold. Those tones really work for me.
Maybe we could have some different colour coming in to the different panels.
Oh, I'm not sure about that. I think that might look a bit weird.
I think it's a great idea, mainly because it's one of mine, but...
I have to say, the challenge of achieving successful interior design is not easy. Personal taste is good, yes, but when the results are so important to a home, professional experience and judgment can't be underestimated.
It's all well and good to be creative and bold, but you know, you've got to think about, you know, what will other people think about the house? Will they just think it's all a bit crazy?
We can make mistakes, but if we like it, then what do we care?
Right then, so to sum up, we've got a mix of Japanese, European and Moroccan influences. How's that all going to work? I guess we'll see. Into October, 10 months since my last visit to site, and the charred timber cladding is already making an impact. For me though, the real test will be its combination with the white Oamaru stone, and that's still to come. In fact, I'd have thought there should have been more progress here than I can see.
I think the big challenge has been the lack of being able to order the future goods. So we've had to just focus on getting the house watertight until such a stage that we've sold and rental properties, which we now sold one, which is fantastic. So it's all full steam ahead now. But it has meant that the builder has had to be very focused on just certain areas of the house.
So we're coming up to Christmas 2024, when Tim and Sally initially told me they'd hoped the house would be finished. Clearly, that's not going to happen. But they also have their son's wedding coming up early in the new year, with talk of hosting family here from the UK. That's going to be interesting. But walking around the house today, there is plenty to be encouraged by. Upstairs, for instance, in the second lounge.
Well, this is what it's all about, isn't it? Great views.
We wondered how much time we'd be spending up here, but now there's no question, this is a real living area for us. This is going to be amazing.
That's one of many views here. They're all different, aren't they?
Yeah, really, really pleased with all the views.
Downstairs, the retro-style sunken lounge is something different stylistically.
I might sit and try and experience this. Oh, that's cold.
It's also causing a little bit of head-scratching.
We're just sort of making a few decisions on this. We're kind of not quite sure whether to have the steps over here or whether we put them in the middle.
This is the focal point, right, isn't
Yeah.
it? This is the fire. So if your steps are there, you miss out on sitting, you two, in front of the fire.
Welcome to our conundrum. There is pressure to get it right, and there are so many decisions, just a ridiculous number of decisions, which we're trying to enjoy, but I'm definitely feeling the pressure.
Well, given all of that, I feel like I should probably leave you to it. I'm taking up valuable time. Keep making decisions.
For Tim and Sally, the romance of a house amongst the vines has inevitably been impacted by the demands of the build. And now, they're having to make decisions that typically would involve professionals like an architect or interior designer. And that, to me, is a concern.
To get to this stage, it all starts out there, doesn't it? The careful growing of the grapes, the harvesting, the pressing, the barreling. With wine, it's a continuous process that requires expert attention at every stage. It's a bit like building, isn't it?
Tim and Sally now have this potentially beautiful, crafted, complex design. But its success now rests on the decision of two enthusiastic, yet inexperienced interior designers.
And so I wonder, what will their finishing be like? Will they end up with a fine wine, or will it be vinegar?
March in Martinborough, and at Tim and Sally's build just out of town, the Oamaru stonework is finally underway. And while the grapevines to surround the house are still not even planted, the vegetable gardens over by the barn are flourishing.
Competition-winning beetroot. I like to come out here. It just gives me a little bit of peace and respite from the stress over at the house build. We've got the deadline of our son's wedding, and we've got, you know, quite a lot of overseas visitors that we're hosting. So I want everything to be done before our family arrives. I want everything to be perfect.
Tim and Sally still have 2 rental properties for sale to help finance the new build. But in the soft property market, that's taking time. Time that's weighing heavily on Mal the builder.
Tim's always looking at what is going to be the next sequence that he can afford, whereas I'll be like, what's the next sequence that I need in the construction process? And ideally, that isn't probably the most efficient way of doing things.
This is a very precisely detailed design with streamlined elements that look deceptively simple, but in fact are difficult and time-consuming to build. And although Mal is at the sharp end of that, he's focused on the final result.
Initially, we're thinking, oh, this is just a lot of work for not much extra look, but now it's starting to come together. You actually start to appreciate what the real vision was.
Now, the progress day to day may be slow, but there's still more than enough to get me down for another visit. I'm especially keen to see the Oamaru stone being installed.
If ever there was a diagram of the different stages of construction, this is it. Cladding still to go on, wires hanging out, stone up, and this is new, a swimming pool.
The 4-man stonemason team has been here for a couple of months now. 2 of the team working full-time on the extensive preparation work the stone needs before installation.
We're cleaning off one side, making sure there's no flaws in it, squaring it up, and then measuring it so it's all nice and square, ready for the wall.
The stone is being used here as a veneer cladding, certainly not blocks, so they won't stand up by themselves. They're pinned and bracketed in place, and not only that, they're joggled or notched where they butt into each other, and the mind boggles how long that takes.
You've had to cut all of these notches.
V joints.
In every, well, one each side of every single
stone. Every stone. A lot of thinking involved, not just throwing a brick on top of a brick. This is quite, considering it's 590, 370, then we go to a 215.
Right. 590 there, 370 here, 215.
215.
How many more?
7 sizes. 7 sizes all up, and then as we go up, we repeat. You have to enjoy your job, otherwise 8 months of doing this, it'll drive you loony.
8 months. Wow. I'm sure that's more than Tim and Sally expected. On the plus side, much of the interior stonework has been completed.
Yeah, seriously beautiful stone. Now, this is a bit confusing. Look, the house isn't finished, but the sofas are here. We're still on a construction site. There's no ceiling here. The outside's not finished. Kitchen's arriving. Feels a bit topsy-turvy.
There's certainly something a little weird.
It gets stranger. Look, a fully made bed. What's going on?
It's like a Martinborough version of The Mystery of the Mary Celeste. Where is everybody?
Hi, Tom. Hi, come on in.
Hello, I'm interrupting.
Come and sit down. This is Tim's family.
Hello there.
Come and join us.
All right, well, I'll come and sit over here. Yeah, I wasn't expecting this.
We made a commitment to family when my son was going to get married that we would give them beds, and, well, the beds are ready. So we fulfilled on that commitment.
Interesting to sleep in a house that has no front door.
The wedding has been moved to another venue close by. A relief, I'm sure, for Tim and Sally, and a happy occasion and distraction from the ongoing demands of the build.
I did have a meltdown a couple of weeks ago because I was really hoping to get the courtyard finished or at least concreted and not have all this horrible dust and gravel for people coming over. But Tim was like, it's not going to happen.
I think that we've done some things in a different order than we might otherwise have chosen to do, I'd say.
I've come up here on the hills above Tim and Sally's house to gaze down on the vision. But of course, the weather's not playing ball. Slightly disappointing. A bit like wedding guests arriving to be put up in a construction site. That's not part of the vision. We're also beginning to get a glimpse of interior design finishes in the house. Classic materials, subtle stone, beautiful burnt timber, and now contrasted with bright green and yellow sofa cushions, 3 types of different wood finishes in the kitchen area. So that precisely defined vision, that curated dream, is beginning to lose a bit of definition for me. Things are getting rather cloudy. This all started with Tim and Sally's dream to live amongst the vines. You know, just your basic, beautiful piece of land, and a barn, and a great house. Oh, and a vineyard too. So this is more than just a house reveal, isn't it? This is the start of a lifestyle. I wonder what we'll find.
But while I'm imagining rows of luscious grapevines and bountiful harvests to come, the monochrome house itself is already a statement. A stark, even startling contrast to its environment.
Even the gateposts, the signage, the 3 chimneys. And they have a vineyard. Well, a baby vineyard. Yeah, there's clearly a reference to barn architecture here, but a level of sophistication, different volumes, proportions, everything's been stretched and moved around. And this wall, well, it's not just white. We can see color. There's a bit of tonal change in here. Ah, the charred timber, yeah. That's really uniform. Oh, this is great. These rough hewn chunks of stone, contrasting with those home walls. Oh, and here we go. This is how we get in, the intercom.
Hi, Tom.
Hey, Tim.
Come on in.
Thank you. Hey.
Hi there, Tom.
Hey, Tim. How are you?
Yeah, very good.
Hi, Tom. Good to see you.
Hi, Sally. That is a seriously impressive way to come into a house. And then lovely window and the valley beyond. It's very cool.
Thank you.
This house is noticeable. So where to start? I'm a guest down in the pit, right? Underneath the giant moon. Well, this is resolved nicely.
Yes, there was some discussion about it on a previous visit, wasn't there?
I remember.
One thing was we thought, oh, there's not going to be enough seating and what have you, and I think we could probably comfortably sit about 12 people, so
Amazing.
no problem there.
A football team, maybe?
Oh, well, that's a good idea, Tom.
Yeah. And then the timber. So I wondered about this. Obviously, you've got the dark charred timber, and then you've got a different colour floor and a different colour timber here. It makes sense now. But the bright yellow and green sofas, I mean, they stand out, don't they?
We certainly wanted to bring the outside in, and that's what we've done with the sofas. The bright green of the grass and the golden trees that we saw outside, and it really works.
Great island unit.
Yes.
One of one.
Yes, I would imagine so, yeah. I don't think there'll be another one like this, hopefully.
Yeah, it's a really lovely environment to be in.
Yeah, so there's nothing that interrupts your view. It's just, you can see right through.
And I've just spotted something else. These handles.
Yeah, they're very cool.
They are,
Yeah.
they're really fun.
If you think those are interesting, you wait, I'll show you something that you'll like even more in a minute.
Interesting.
So a little surprise behind this door. You have to go inside and close the door for the full immersive experience.
Haha, yes, okay. Well, I'm suddenly transported to, well, it feels like medieval France. I'm in a cellar. I should close this door.
You should.
Yeah. This is definitely one of one.
Down the hallway in the bedroom wing, there's a much more conventional bathroom, albeit with its own individual flourishes.
That's amazing. You've got a laser-cut screen, right? So a metal screen. So that's protecting your modesty. I love that, yeah. And this tile, now that's a strong colour.
It is a strong colour, yes.
It's joyful.
As well as the bathroom, there are a couple of generous guest bedrooms in this wing, plus a good-sized separate laundry. And right down the end, the master bedroom and ensuite, enjoying vineyard and poolside views.
Wow. I mean, that's an eye-opening room. Glass on all three sides of your bed pushed up into the middle of it. So if you want to live amongst the vines, this is the room to be in, isn't it? And you've got vines. That's the key thing, right?
It is for us, yes. Just last week, we had 4,500 Chardonnay vines planted. It's something quite satisfying to look out onto.
Living amongst the vines.
Yeah.
For elevated views, it's up the elegant floating staircase with full-height timber balustrades and moon-shaped pendant lights, to the second lounge, showcasing Tim's sense of fun and Sally's Moroccan theme.
Well, now, what's this?
Tim's funky furniture.
Okay, so how'd you get in?
You jump in.
You've done that before. Yeah, and now you're there for good. And once you're there, this is the stargazing window, isn't it? Yeah. I really feel like I should have a go at this.
Yeah, sample the view from the funky furniture.
All right, here we go. Yeah, it's just a... Yeah, that's good. Well, I have to say, this is a really enjoyable house to be in.
Oh, thank you.
There was this very strong vision of yours, a black and white aesthetic. You know, it's unique, right?
It's all about contrast for me. In one sense, yes, we wanted to make a statement. In another, living within the vines, there was that Mediterranean feel. And certainly the white does that. It makes you feel like we are transported somewhere else. I feel like I'm on holiday now.
Yeah, definitely.
It's full of humour and life, you know, not least the bathroom, it says. And I love that.
You know, we've made some reasonably bold decisions in a few places, but I would say pretty much everybody that's been round is like, oh, wow, yeah, that's cool.
When you started, you told us that this house might cost $2.5 million, and there was a stage where that became maybe another $1 million more. Where did you end up?
We ended up close to 3.3.
You feel value in that?
Oh, 100%. We have an exceptional house.
To my mind, it's just retirement's just going to be a lot further away, so... but we've got an amazing place to live in the meantime.
And you never know, your wine could be the next
top
big
seller.
thing.
Yeah.
I have to say, this house confused me along the way. And I think I've learnt a lesson. You see, when you've got a really strong aesthetic and a strong vision and set of ideas, you've got to let that resolve before forming opinions. And so that glimpse I got of the unfinished house, the incomplete picture, well, it unsettled me. It didn't play to my sensibilities. But now the vision is complete. The black and white house now softened with some beautiful interior finishes, textures, and investment in enduring quality. They now have the foundation for the bigger picture, their life amongst the vines.